Alright, so, hello there. That looks highly unpresentable. So my name is Remus Lupin. This is the most terrible British accent I've probably ever procured ever. But, welcome, as I trip over the cord, welcome to this edition of Ask the Character. So basically, as you might know, I'm a student at the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I belong in the House of Gryffindor. My middle name John comes from my father, who happens to be a wizard, whereas my mother, Mary, she tends to be a muggle, which makes me a half-blood, which, if you frown upon half-bloods, I suggest you stop watching this video. So anyways, today we're going to answer a few questions, because apparently people have questions for me, which quite honestly surprises me, considering that James and Sirius are the most popular of the Marauders. If you don't know what a Marauder is, the Marauders is our little group of friends. Basically, the Marauders consists of Sirius Black, or Padfoot, James Potter, or Prongs, Peter Pettigrew, or One-Tail, and myself, who goes by the name Mooney. Why I go by the name Mooney has nothing to do with inappropriate gesturings of the posterior. Instead, it has something to do with the fact that I, like the moon. Let's go with that one. So, anyways, today apparently some people have some questions for me, which surprises me, as I said, because James and Sirius are the most popular with the ladies. In fact, I don't really quite enjoy the women. My studies mean much more to me. In fact, I would love to be a professor of the Defense Against the Dark Arts at some point in my life. However, we will see if that actually comes to be a possibility. If not, I don't know, possibly something to do with Muggle studies, considering that I am indeed half Muggle, and therefore I understand the concepts of humans, or normal, non-wizarding folk, much more than the other people of the world. So, yeah. Anyways, James and Sirius are the most popular with the ladies, but I would consider myself, I guess, the third popular. Lots of women actually kind of like to flirt with me, I suppose, but I consider myself far too dangerous for their liking, and like I said, my books and my novels are quite more important than the female population. So, oh, and before you ask, we can awkwardly stare at this. Let's make it close up. Yes, my eyes are gold. It is my natural eye color. They aren't procured by Muggle contacts or anything like that. This is indeed the color that I was born with in my eyes. And before you ask if this is paint across my face, no, it is actually scars, from some incidences that have happened in my past that need not be brought up in this video. So, anyways, the first and actually the most popular question of the day is, I got asked 5 times by different individuals that sent me this via OWL. So the most popular question of the day is, Dearest Remus, oh, dearest, that's so cute, what is it like to transform? Or what does your transformation feel like? I have no idea what transformation you're talking about. There's no transformations, but hypothetically speaking, if you're talking about the lupines, or lycanthropy, which is the definition of turning into a werewolf during the course of the full moon, then, hypothetically speaking, of course, since I've never personally experienced this, myself, no, I don't know what transformations you are referring to, because I personally, Remus John Lupin, do not experience transformations. But hypothetically speaking, from what I have researched in my levels of, especially my Defense Against the Dark Arts class, which talks about this quite frequently, transforming into a lichen or a werewolf is quite possibly one of the most painful experiences that you will ever go through. Particularly, your organs flip inside out. So it feels like you're literally internally combusting your organs, and then your skin decides to just feel like it's tearing right off. So imagine sharp, painful daggers, per se. What do you Muggles call them? Knives. Particularly knives. Think knives slicing at your skin as if it were a cheese grater. Think of it like that. So your skin is not only being sliced and ripped off you, but you are growing impossible claws, you're growing fangs, all these things that are not normally supposed to be there. So they will protrude from your anatomy, and since you're normally not used to those things protruding, it is quite painful. And aside from that, you also of course get the mental and the emotional status where you do not understand what's going on. You lose all process of your mind. So basically, your mind, it's like it turned into, what is that thing my mother gave me as a child? Silly putty. It turns into silly putty, so you can't understand the concept of what's going on around you. Instead, you simply have a mushed up mind where you turn quite literally into the beast that you are claimed to be. And your emotions are just crazy. You, crave meat. I personally am a vegetarian, so I don't know what it is like to crave meat. I don't know why that has anything to do with lycanthropy. It doesn't have anything to do with lycanthropy, of course not, but they crave meat, particularly human flesh. So if you have a lichen within your family line, I suggest that, because it is sometimes genetic and sometimes it is caused by perhaps an evil werewolf named Fenrir Greyback deciding to bite your only son because he was a jerk. But I suggest locking them in a place, possibly the Shrieking Shack. It was built for purposes like that, right? I suggest you lock them up and keep them far away from you. And it's painful. But, like I said, I wouldn't personally have any idea what that is talking about. So, next question. Okay, that's awkward. Dearest Remykins? Alright, what is your relationship with the formerly known as Padfoot, aka Sirius Black? If you must honestly know, Sirius Black and I are just best friends. With possible. No. Just best friends. Sirius is a fantastic guy, quite handsome, quite charming. If I was a bird, I would personally be attracted to him, but considering that I am not interested in blokes or birds, especially not blokes, I'm not interested in blokes, there is no relations between Sirius Black and I, that you need to know about. Apparently there's a fan fiction. It's a new form of novel that I've discovered that you muggles write about people. And apparently there's fan fiction about me and Sirius, and it's called Wolf Star. I understand the star part, considering that Sirius is the name of one of the stars in our galaxy, as his father Orion is also a name of one of our stars, and his cousin Bellatrix and his cousin Nymphadora. They're all named after stars. But Wolf, I don't quite understand where you're getting that, but apparently there's this fanfiction called Wolf Star, where, or Moon Star, if you prefer to call it Moon Star, where apparently Sirius and I do a lot of, and quite frankly, I don't know where you're getting that information, and it's personally none of your business, and if James Potter is sharing this information with you, then James, I'm going to curl your arse. But anyway, the last question from our viewers is, hello Remus, I have a particularly interesting question. I have been shopping at Ollivanders, and I was wondering, how long is your wood? As the muggles would say, that's what she said. However, my wood or my wand, this is my wand, right here. There it is in all of its glory. Got it for Ollivanders myself when I was 11. That was quite a few years ago, as I am now in my 4th year of Hogwarts. Anyways, my wood, as you would improperly call it, it is a good 14 inches. Look at it. Know that I'm not lying. This is 14 inches of wood. What it's made of is none of your... I had some muggle issues. It decided to cut the video off on me. But we're back to answer the question. So, yes, it is made of, it's 14 inches long. My wood is 14 inches long. And seeing as that's really all the questions that we had, I don't really need to continue going. However, if you would like, because this is quite a fine muggle contraption that you've invented, you can go to this thing called the comment box or the ask box I think it's called. You can also like this video, which would make me feel quite honored, considering that James and Sirius think this is a pointless amount of time to explain to you muggles what the point of the Wizarding World is. But regardless, if you would like to ask me more questions, something more personal, perhaps something from my future, you can honestly, because I am only the tender age of 15 right now, perhaps in the future I might marry a woman named Nymphadora Tongs, who happens to be Sirius's cousin, because she's the only black in the line left. That's my reason that I go with Nymphadora. Perhaps you want to ask me about Nymphadora. Perhaps you want to ask me about my hypothetical son, which I would name Teddy. Perhaps you want to ask me about my favorite subject at Hogwarts, why my eyes are gold, why I have a really crappy British accent. I don't know. Whatever you would like to ask me, simply go into the ask box, box at the bottom of the page, submit a question to me, and I, yours truly, Remus John Lupin, will have no problems answering your questions for you. So that's all. I have some studying to do. It is a Muggle class called Judicial Processes, where apparently we learn about criminals. I personally think all criminals should just go to Azkaban and not have to deal with this federal court or state court or municipal court system that you Muggles have in place. However, that is not the likes, and since I am thoroughly interested in Muggle studies, I have to go and study for this class because we have a thing tomorrow called a midterm. So, alas, that is all. Thank you so much for listening, Muggles, to my question. I shouldn't even call you Muggles, that's kind of insulting. Thank you so much, non-wizarding folk, for listening to my question and my interview. And if you have any other questions, just inform me. Now, dare I quote something that I heard from this place called, Disney World? But have a magical day.